about a fifth or a fourth, about a fifth of the nation of Ukraine, the erstwhile nation of Ukraine, has been annexed by Russia. The eastern parts of Ukraine, erstwhile Ukraine, the Donbass region, the southern parts of Ukraine along the Azov Sea region, Crimea was already gone, and so on and so forth. And all of these regions have now officially become part of Russian territory, which means that these territories now fall under the Russian nuclear umbrella. So if anybody tries to take away these territories by force and they come close to succeeding, it means Russia will use nuclear weapons to defend its territorial integrity. So that is the dangerous situation we are seeing right now, and there are battles going on at various points in time. And one question that I see all the time, every single day, multiple times a day, is what is Russia doing? Russia doesn't seem to be winning. Why hasn't Russia taken over Ukraine thus far? You said this would happen. You said that would happen. So is Russia losing the war? If you watch Indian news, which I watched about a week or 10 days ago, it would look like the Russians are losing very badly. Yeah. And we know that the Americans are supplying Ukraine with all kinds of weapons and all that. That's why the Ukrainians are still going. But what's happening? Why is Russia taking it so slow? Why have they not overrun the whole of Ukraine by now? Right? What we have seen is that the Russians are adopting what's called the classic slow war approach. The classic slow war approach. They're not fighting a 21st century high-tech war, a shock and awe campaign like the Americans always do, wiping out entire cities and killing millions of people. No, the Russians are taking it an inch at a time, very slow, very gradual, very steady. In some places they have even withdrawn. In some places we are hearing that the Russians are suffering setbacks against Ukraine. But what's happening? We know the Russians have not. We know the Russians have the firepower to flatten Ukraine within 24 hours. The Russians have a massive air force. We haven't seen the Russian air force in action at all. They have hundreds of fighter planes. They have got strategic bombers. They have got all kinds of planes that they could use, and that could flatten Ukraine in no time. They haven't done that. So what are they doing? What are the Russians up to? Why are they allowing the why are they allowing the West to create this image of them losing the war? So what's really happening is the Russians are waiting for Russia's greatest ally, which is winter. The Russians are waiting for winter. They know what's going to happen once winter rolls into Europe. The Europeans are facing a major energy crunch. Europe was almost entirely dependent on the Russian energy supply, gas and petroleum products and all that. Now, and they have been shutting down their nuclear power plants and all that. And now this Nord Stream thing has happened, right? A significant portion of the Nord Stream pipeline has been destroyed mysteriously. Yeah. So now Europe is going to face a massive energy crunch. If some of you are living in Europe, you know exactly what's coming. So one option is to ration energy and not use heaters and all that for in certain hours of the daytime. Yeah. The other option is to purchase energy from the US at incredibly inflated rates. So the Americans are cracking the whip and showing Europe who's the boss. Yeah. And Mr. Putin is waiting for winter. And winter has always traditionally been Russia's ally. Look back to the campaign of Napoleon during the Russian winter. Look at Operation Barbarossa in 1942, I think was it? Somewhere there. Second World War. Mr. Hitler's ridiculously stupid campaign to conquer Russia. They came within binocular distance of Moscow, and then they got bogged down. And the Russian winter was the price they had to pay for their failure to conquer Moscow, and their strategic stupidity of going down south instead of aiming for Moscow straight away. Anyhow, I'm digressing. But the point is, Mr. Putin is waiting for winter. He wants Europe to feel the crunch. This is war. Russia is at war with the West, with NATO, with the European Union, with the US essentially. Ukraine is a US proxy. In warfare, all outcomes are fine. I mean, like they say, the old cliche goes, everything is fair in love and war. This is war and everything is fair. So So Europe is now going to face this energy crunch, and that's what Mr. Putin is waiting for. And then let's see how it goes, but that's what it is. So that's why Russia is adopting this classic slow war campaign, taking things slowly, taking things 1 inch, 1 foot, 1 kilometer at a time, digging in, consolidating your gains, maybe even retreating from some places. Let it go on, let it go on. Let's wait for winter. We are still in autumn. North India was frozen when I northern India, last week I was there. It was quite frozen. It was snowing there. But yeah, it's winter has not even rolled into Europe, and things are going to get much worse, much colder. So that's where we are. So that's why Russia is taking it really, really slow. They want the Europe to feel the brunt of winter in its full force. And then things will become interesting when you have February, March rolling in next year, and then we'll see what happens, what plans Mr. Putin has.